Hi, I'm Lam. Welcome back to Keeping Up with the Queen, and welcome back to my white shirt. Today, I thought I want to review a palette, and that is the NATASHA Denona Tan, Bronze and Glow Face Palette. But I thought instead of doing a normal review, I'm just gonna do a get ready with me, and I will show you an ultimate glowy summer tan look using this palette and a lot of other products. As usual, this is the summer. We always want to be a little bit more bronzy, a little bit more glowy, healthy, and it's just there's something about a summer glow when the sun catches your face in the right angle. I already have my skincare on, and now I'm going to use the Ultimate Glowy Summer Foundation, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Foundation. I have a review on this. I will leave it down below in the description box if it's already out, and the shade I'm using is 6 Medium. I am going to shake this up, put a little bit. Actually, I'm going to put it on my finger. I do not use much foundation at all. I'm just kind of like slapping it on. And then what I like to do is I use the Beauty Blender. This is the Real Technique sponge. And I'm going to bounce it onto my skin. The thing that I like to do is using a very, very natural and light coverage foundation, but sometimes I do like a more medium buildable coverage too, so it just depends on the day. But for the summer look, we want to be light, we want to be airy, we want to be natural. We don't want to look like we're wearing a ton of stuff, you know. I just can't stand the feeling of feeling like there's a ton of product on my face. Then I'm going to use a little bit of the Bobbi Brown corrector in the shade Light Peach. I love this for instead of using a concealer underneath my eye, I love using this because it's just a little bit more natural and it really does change everything. I really think it makes a difference on how my under eye look. It just really brighten up everything in the most natural way, which is what I like. And then a little bit of Peach Perfect setting powder, translucent setting powder from Too Faced, and I'm just gonna set underneath my eye and on my T-zone. Now I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in Ash Brown to do my brows, make it very natural. But I want to step on here and ask you how you're doing. Me? Oh, I'm doing okay. It's just been really weird that what's going on this year in the world. And today, I don't know, a lot happened in my personal life also, even though there's not much happened in the professional life. But I want to ask you guys about friendship, because I've been having trouble connecting with my friends lately. First of all, I am living far away from all of my friends. I'm not moving, but like temporary, I am living in a different area. You can see if you're watching Keeping Up with the Queen series. And it's just really hard to connect with people when you are not near them. And it's also hard to reach out to people when you have so many things you are working on personally or emotionally. I just can't do it, and I can't help but feeling like all of my friends are like drifting away from my life. And that is really, really sad. But thankfully I have something to do on YouTube, and that's been helping me a lot. It makes me feel a lot more productive, and there are many of you on YouTube who have connected with me and makes me feel so warm and loved and appreciated. And I just want to thank you for talking to me in the comment section, for interacting with my videos, for watching my videos and giving me feedbacks and make me feel so useful, you know, helpful. And I just want to thank you so much, and I'm so happy to talk to you, and I will continue to make videos for you. So the brow is done, by the way. And now, before we do everything else, I'm going to prime my eyelids just a little bit, because I am planning to use the tan palette for my cheek and also my eyes, so you can see everything it does in action. I thought that having all the colors kind of being used together, I think is going to create a more cohesive look that goes well together. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think you will see. And I'm using the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Urbanite. So real quick, before we move into this tan palette, let's see what Sephora says. It is a tan bronze and glow palette from NATASHA Denona. It retails for $55 US. A Midi bronze and glow palette with shades of alluring bronze, creamy tan, and incandescent champagne. It's cruelty-free, and it has different finishes. So first, let me show you the packaging. It's very shiny, very beautiful. In the back, there is some information, the shade names, and the expiration date is 18 months. The main attraction is when you open it up. Very nice full-size mirror that kind of stand up. Yeah, it does stand up. So there are two cream shades on the top and powders on the bottom. There's an opening here to protect the cream from getting powdered into and dried out, which I really appreciate. And let me show you the shade. On top there's a glow cream base and super glow. This is like a champagne kind of cream highlighter, and this is a more orangey, kind of peachy, glowy blush. And this is a matte bronzer, and it's supposed to be a blush and bronze powder. And then this one is a glow impact powder, so it's a traditional powder highlighter. And let me swatch them real quick for you. 2, 3, 4. These are the shades on my hand. These are the swatches. I think they look really nice. This is the 2 cream products, and these are the traditional powder. They seem a little bit more skin tone friendly, so I feel like from super light skin tone to medium deep skin tones, you can use this palette. The consistency is very creamy, and The pigmentation is really good. I think there is a good variation of shades in here. I actually want to compare the bronzer here to some of my other bronzing and contouring product that I have at the end of the video, but right now I just want to get it on my face. I have had this palette for like 3 to 4 weeks now, and I kind of figured out the way the best way to use it. So first of all, I'm going to use this bronzer to contour and bronze up my face, as well as using it as a blush. Contour brush, dip it in there. I want to show you. Do you see how pigmented it is? It's very pigmented, but I find that it is also very, very blendable. So you can see how it's like blended. I like to apply it here on my temple. And I use it into my blush area also. To use a little bit to contour my chin. So you can see the difference between this side and this side, how you already have that bronzy look from this. I have to say it's a pretty nice imitation of the tan for when you have a lot of sun exposure. I don't know how this would look on, I mean how you would use it if you have really light skin tone. I feel like you will have to go in very light-handed for it to not go crazy. Next, I am going to use this Super Glow here as a blush. My camera decided to die. Cute. But I did use this, the more orangey shade with a blush brush, and I sweep it across my cheek and a little bit on my forehead, and you can see it creates such a nice tan look. This cream highlight, and I'm going to use my finger, and for this I'm only going to dab it on the top of my cheek right here. It does have a color. As you can see, it's kind of like pinky. It's not exactly a highlight kind of shade, but I get that it's a tan palette, so probably the pinkish undertone make it look more tan. So now I'm going to use this flat kind of a powder brush and dip into the shade right here and use it as a highlight on top of the cream. Do you see that? Beautiful. A little bit on my forehead, a little bit on cupid's bow, and a little bit on the bridge of my nose. Very, very glowy. Love. Blending brush. I'm going to dip into the contour shade, and I'm going to use it as an eyeshadow. I really like it. I do think that this palette is very, very convenient because you can just bring it with you when you travel. Using a flat brush, I'm using the same shade for my under eye. I zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see the eye a little better. Now I'm going to dip into Super Glow. My finger. I want a very, very natural glow. Okay, and then I'm using Glow Impact for an inner corner pop. I do want a little bit of depth, a little more depth in my eye. So I'm going to dip into the bronze eyeshadow palette from her new collection, bronze collection. I have a few videos on this palette. I will link it down below too. But I mean, if I'm just on vacation and the tan palette is the only palette I have, I would be good with this as my shadow and just use like a liner and mascara and I'm done. But since I'm at home, I'm going to use a little bit of suntan right here, just to deepen it up a little more. They're doing vacuum. Since I'm already here, I'm going to use Deep Dive as a liner. So I just use Deep Dive as my liner. I put on a little bit of McGrath lip gloss in Bronze Temptation on my lips. And that concludes this glowy summer tan look. What do you think? I think it looks so good on my olive medium tan skin tone. It's so flattering. And now I do want to compare a little bit, do a little bit of comparison, because I feel like this bronze shade right here is very, it just reminds me of this Marc Jacobs bronzer in Tantalize. That's the only Marc Jacobs bronzer I have, so I'm going to compare them right now. NATASHA Denona, this is Marc Jacobs. So you can see, actually they're very, very close. On my finger, you can see NATASHA Denona has a little bit more of a glow, and it has a little more warmth to it compared to Tantalize from Marc Jacobs. But I would say on the skin, they are very, very close. I do like the texture of both of them equally. I think they're both very blendable, and they both look really flattering as both contour and bronzing kind of a shade. And then I think this Super Glow and the Glow Impact Powder reminds me, only reminds me of the Hourglass Ambient palette. Do you see what I mean? So I'm gonna swatch them right here and right here. I would say these two shades. Okay, immediately the Hourglass has less of a glow. It feels very finely milled. Gonna swatch them right here. Okay, clearly Hourglass looks similar in the pan. It might remind you of these, but you can see they're not as glowy as the NATASHA Denona. They're very soft, and the shades are actually not the same. So they're not as warm. They're more pinkish and a little bit more neutral. Yeah, that is the ultimate summer look using the NATASHA Denona Tan Bronze and Glow Face Palette. I really enjoy this palette. I've used it so much in the summer. I think it's the perfect palette to have in the summer or when you're traveling. I think the packaging is very nice. The shade range is so smart. And I do think among all of her face palette so far, this is the best one, because it just has everything. It has highlighting, it has blush, it has contour, so you can just take it to go, whether some of the other palettes just have highlighter and blushes. There's not really a bronzer or slash contour slash blush. Like you see, I use all the shades in this palette today as eyeshadow and as my cheek powder. I mean my cheek makeup. It turns out really well, so I really do recommend this palette. And if you have this palette, let me know what you think. If there's another palette that's similar like this that I should try out from other brands. I do like this type of look, a very tan, glowy look. So I'm always interested in looking into more products that are similar to this. I hope you have a fun time playing with makeup with me. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you find it helpful. Look into the description box to find the videos, reviews that I might have mentioned in this video. And I will let you go. Have a great day. And remember, don't flop.